It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam. Patrick from Tennessee. Loved the interview with Motor City Madman. Some other notable bands that probably never get into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Thin Lizzy, Foghat, America, Kansas, even REO Speedwagon. Well, even old Neil Young said, hey, my, rock and roll will never die. Just watch the Grammys now and you'll think rock and roll has died. Y'all have a good day. Bye.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, Thin Lizzy should be in there for Jailbreak alone.
Yeah.
Hey, you good-looking female. They broke out of prison, man, and they're horny. And he's looking for a snatch.
Absolutely. Locked up with these dudes for all these weeks.
You got to go find a clothesline and get yourself some clothes that fit.
Yep.
And then the next thing you got to do is get laid.
Yeah.
And he's giving away that there's going to be a jailbreak. He's not telling you exactly where it's going to be.
Somewhere
in this town.
Yeah. But there's probably only one prison.
Probably.
Yeah. How many people live in a town with multiple prisons?
I don't know. Walpole, Massachusetts, probably the only one. But I would pull the surveillance crew off of the library.
Yeah. Tonight, hey, you, good-looking female. Yeah. And I like to add a siren in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Break out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, the boys are coming back in town, man. Like, that should have been... Why is that not in? It's bullshit. That guy sounded like he was a roadie for Thin Lizzy, by the way.
Yeah, he probably back in the day. Also, so we'll talk a little about the Oscars, since I know it's a day late for you folk, but the way the show's taped, it's the way it works out for us. I was laughing because I realized my mom used to love the Oscars, and then I ruined the Oscars for her. And I hearkened back to the time I ruined Jon Stewart for her, which is a story I won't bore everyone with, but the long and the short of it is she was a huge Jon Stewart fan, and then she found out Jon Stewart and I were friends, and then she never brought up Jon Stewart again. And the only thing my mom didn't have a lot of passions, but the only thing my family ever did as a unit or as close to a unit, like we didn't have, reunions or picnics or go to the ball games, every year at opening day at Dodger Stadium, we would all go to, of course we had nothing, zero. It was kind of a weird, interesting, and you can probably identify with this. My grandmother and grandfather never worked a Saturday their entire life. My grandmother worked for the VA, and the VA was pretty much 9 to 5, but there was no such thing as a Saturday gig. I played football in North Hollywood at North Hollywood High or Poly High or whatever. The places I played were all just sort of Burbank Vikings and the Sun Valley Falcons and stuff. We would play our home games. Half of them were home. The away games, furthest you got was Chatsworth or Woodland Hills or something. My grandmother never went to a game ever because she just announced she didn't like football, which you couldn't pull off. Like, I don't like girls volleyball, but I couldn't announce in modern times, I don't like volleyball. I don't like volleyball, but that wouldn't get you out of going to your daughter's volleyball game. Yeah. It was understood that my grandmother did not like football, so thus she was off the hook for any Pop Warner football game played over a 7-year span in high schools that were just basically around her house.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And nowadays, everybody in the family, regardless of who they are in relation to the person that is out on the field. So if you got a niece that's out there playing basketball and she's riding the bench, doesn't matter. Guess what you're doing on Saturday.
Right, right. Mm-hmm. Now, I started both ways, but that was going to put a dent in them. So they're resolved. They had a great resolve of not supporting anybody. So the only thing I ever remember doing what I would call sort of as a family is my grandparents had a color TV set, and it was probably 19 inches or something. We had this little black and white Zenith or something, and we would go to watch the Oscars. And we'd go to my grandparents' house and sit in my grandfather's den, which was probably 10 foot by 11 foot, and just sit on the floor. But there was a TV. It was color. And we'd watch it. And my grandfather was in the Academy because he got nominated for adapted screenplay or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, a million years ago. Yeah. Affairs of Susan. So it was a point. It was the only thing we had to hang our hat on is this guy from Hungary who was a playwright who came here, who had some success as a writer, and that he made his living writing for Gunsmoke and Bonanza and wrote The Mole People and weird, sci-fi stuff. He actually got nominated in like 1948.
That's a big swing
for the
Bonanza,
like Affairs of Susan. They were like adapted something. Didn't get an Oscar, but they were in. They were now in the Academy.
Sure,
they would get screeners, and so the Oscars were kind of the one thing my family. That was all we had, and then outside of that. He was a step-grandfather, but outside of that, for the Carollas, it was a fast free fall. Like, there was nothing. This guy successfully completed rehab or something like that. Like, there was no Heisman Trophy winners. Nobody owned a Corvette or had an RV dealership or something. It was like Grandpa was in the Academy, and then after that, it was just futon after futon and welfare after welfare. Like, no home ownership, no nothing. But at some point when Jimmy hosted the Oscars and I wrote for the Oscars, much like Jon Stewart being ruined for my mom, the Oscars were then ruined for my mom because it was kind of a Woody Allen thing, like who'd want to be in a club that have me as a member sort of thing, except for they did it with their extended family. Yeah. She never said it. I just realized it was ruined for her. It was never discussed again. She was asked if she watched the episode that the first time Jimmy hosted that I wrote on. She announced it was. She announced she didn't really watch it, but it was a little hit and miss, which is weird because she covered both bases, which is I didn't watch it. And it was no good. Like, so weird. That's a twofer.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy would host the next year and the next year, and like I'd see her and she'd go like, "What's going on?" I go, "I'm going over to the Academy to write jokes, for the Oscar." And she'd go, "All right." And I realized it was over.
Wow.
Never brought up the Oscars again. Never brought up Jimmy. Never asked a question about writing or like when do you get there? Or do you rent a tuxedo? Or do you have to wear a tuxedo?
Yeah.
Do you get to hang out backstage? It was never discussed again. And I realized with her fucking wiring, it was ruined like Jon Stewart got ruined. It ruined Jon Stewart that I was friends with Jon Stewart. We had the same agent.
We talked last week about being fired from a business or being let go or whatever it is, and then you immediately stop engaging with that company ever. Like you will never. You get fired from a radio station, you'll never turn that radio station on again. A TV station, you get fired from the Subway. You go to get a sandwich. No. We're going to Quiznos from now on. We're never doing Subway ever again. It's weird that she had no involvement with the Academy Awards, and then on top of it, her son was in it, and just because you're like a Marvel superhero who everything you touch just shrivels up and dies in her eyes.
Yes. Yeah, it's a I don't know if it's a ultimate low self-esteem. Like, I don't know what it is. My grandmother had that too, but it was palpable.
Yeah.
We would have in the past, we would have gotten together the weekend after the Oscars, and she would have given me a whole sort of dissertation on stuff she liked, or she thought this guy did a good job, or that guy was very clever. There would have been Oscar talk.
Yeah.
Never came up after that.
You know that moment that you have when you're dating somebody and you find out that they once slept with somebody that you find to be disgusting or you can't stand, and you get a little freaked out by it.
Yes.
Did she ever write for the Oscars? And then she's like, fucking never again. Like you look at it different now that it's been tainted with your no pun intended taint.
She liked the Oscars, and then Jimmy hosted the Oscars.
And that was it, huh?
And her son wrote for the Oscars. That's a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
And then it was all over for her and the Oscars.
Man.
Never brought it up again.
Wow.
Now, to be fair, my dad didn't watch the Oscars before Jimmy hosted, and he didn't watch the Oscars while Jimmy hosted. Yeah, which is funny. He gave me the best one ever, which is, I always want to say to people, at least respect me enough to lie to me. I got the biggest argument, one of the biggest arguments I ever got into with someone on Loveline was many years ago. You got to look her name up, Dawson. Baywatch, sensible one, brunette with the short hair. She was a sensible one.
Oh, by sensible, you mean not much up top, right?
Yeah, a B cup. Short hair.
Oh,
sure. They had to have the ones they were always really good looking. They just had shorter hair and a B cup, and they were the sensible ones. And she was supposed to come on Loveline. And then at the last minute, she just sort of called in. Original Baywatch cast, I guess. I don't know. She's got to be. She's a perennial. Like I think she was the original cast. And like I said, not blonde, so she's going to be easy to find.
She had like a
Alexander Paul.
Oh,
that's right. That's right. What is she doing now? And is she running marathons? So she was supposed to come on Loveline, and she called in like an hour before she was supposed to come into Loveline. Not circa 1997 or something. Baywatch, and she just goes, "I'm not coming in because I'm training for a marathon and I got to get up early." And she was like, pfft. And I was like, just say you're sick. Not you got to get up to jog.
Yeah.
And she was like, and by the way, not running a marathon. The marathon was in 3 months.
Yeah.
She just
training.
Got up at 6 a.m. and ran. And she didn't feel like staying up till 10, till 11 or 12 or whatever. And my beef was that she didn't lie.
Yeah.
And then her argument was, I can't believe you're coming after me for not lying. And my argument was, here's my argument. If it was about somebody, let's just say George Clooney said, come over for cocktails. Would you say, nah, I got to jog in the morning? If you didn't want to go, you'd go, oh my God, I hurt myself this weekend, or I'm sick, or I wish I could leave the house, but I can't, or my kid's sick. Like you just go, you wouldn't go, I don't really feel like it. Because you would care.
Yeah. See, Adam, this is why you should have feigned a little bit of interest in your children, because you can always have a get out of jail free card.
Oh my God. What, TMZ 2 hours ago? According to Andrew Alexander Paul, arrested after animal welfare process. That's from 2 hours ago?
Oh, my God.
That's a great magnet.
Wow. Yeah, look at that's her right there.
She couldn't run fast enough to get away from the cops.
No. Should have trained a little harder.
That's right.
Wow.
Was she part of this, like, beagle animal rescue takeover place? The place that bred beagles or something that a bunch of protesters showed up to? Are you telling me I just randomly brought up Alexandra Paul's name and she was on TMZ?
Jesus.
Who's last been seen in an episode of Baywatch 23 years ago?
Well, you know what? Your mom just announced that she's never going to watch TMZ ever again.
From the grave. Yeah, so my thing is would you just lie? Just lie. Yeah. And when my dad, when he got asked if he watched the Oscars that Jimmy was hosting and that I wrote for, he goes, this is the greatest. This is Jim Carolla. He goes, I go, Somebody else asked him, "Did you watch the Oscars?" And he goes, "Oh yeah. Watch the Oscars." And then he paused and he went, "Well, your stepmom did. I did." By the way, his house is 1,300 square feet. Just say we watched it.
Yeah.
Just say we watched it. I'm not going to check you. I'm not going to quiz you. She literally, the house is 1,000 square feet. She literally sat in the living room and watched it, and he just sat one room over and looked at a book. That's what he did. Well, I'm just saying, you can just go, good stuff. Jimmy, nice job. Nice job. Look good.
Let me play on my trumpet.
You just say it. It's the easiest. Yeah. It's free, and it's so easy.
Yeah. Lie about everything.
Hey, good stuff.
Yeah, lie about it all. My girlfriend, what'd you get for dinner? Steak. I had chicken. I just tell her steak.
Tell Jimmy, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Nice. Look good with the tuxedo.
Yeah.
Nice slimming.
Lot of commercials this year. They must be doing well. Obviously, ratings have been up.
Anything. Just something other than didn't watch.
That's
By the way,
wild, man.
I was at home and just in another part of this house that's miniature where the TV wasn't.
Yeah.
I sat in the other room. She allegedly broke into a breeding facility and began stealing dogs, beagles. I told you I heard a beagle story.
Man.
I did not hear her name involved with the beagle story.
According to criminal records obtained by TMZ, Alexandra was arrested and booked Sunday on one count of trespassing. The papers say she was arrested on Sunday morning, later booked in the county jail that afternoon. According to the sheriff's office, Alexandra's arrest was related to a protest at Ridgeland Farms, a controversial breeding facility in the Blue Mountains about 30 miles west of Madison.
Oh,
okay.
All right.
Man, she's going all Cruella DeVille, making some beagle loafers out of them things.
Yeah, I think she's doing what attractive women do once they turn 60, which is stuff like this.
No problems, so we got to start creating them.
She must have run marathons or something at some point. But anyway. All right, the other thing that I noticed with about the Oscars is what's with dudes in brooches?
A lot of brooches.
What is going on? May I broach this subject? What? I know dudes are trying to be chicks, and I guess this is the brooch a upright, standing, mobile version of the deep leg cross? Because I think you're basically saying I'm team deep leg cross with the brooch.
That's like prom level.
Yeah.
That's more in a boutonniere.
Yeah. Well, they're not wheeling them out on a chair where they can cross their legs to signal to everybody that they are on one side or the other. So they have to wear the brooch.
But when did the brooch? When did this hit? And then how does this memo work? Hey, bro, you got to brooch up for the Oscars. Like everyone's doing brooches.
Lionel's doing a brooch, bro.
Got your brooch, bro?
And also, I don't know, how come guys don't push back a little and go, I don't know, this hunk of tin hanging off my lapel for the whole
theory.
Night? Yeah.
Every senator, congressman, whatever, they have multiple lapel pins.
Yeah.
American flag. Some people wear the Ukrainian one, whatever. Right. It's and then with the Me Too is where it started, but then now it's Be Good and all that other stuff they were doing in movies. It's become more of a fashion accessory and a way to expound on your appearance without taking a side. You're open to
so
it's unused real estate. It's like where that billboard goes.
Hold on. Yeah. Maybe is this what you're trying to say? I think you cannot get shit for not wearing a Time's Up pin or Ukraine pin because you have a giant brooch.
There you go.
Using that space up.
Yeah.
So and the brooch basically says, I'm for free Palestine, Time's Up, Ukraine. The big brooch sort of says, I'm down with all of it without committing to one of it.
And I'm against wasted space on my lapel.
Right.
Well, what you didn't know is the Time's Up logo looks like a diamond butthole, and that's what Adrian Brody had on his lapel there.
Pedro Pascal had the giant.
Yeah, look at a big sunflower. It's weird, huh?
Again, call me old-fashioned, but just get a suit and wear it the best you can.
Yeah.
That's all. He's also a douche with his, I don't know, Free Palestine stuff. He's just a douche. Sad. All right. You got some... Are
you look at any of the winners
news?
Or anything? You want to go through that at all?
Yeah.
Rundown?
I printed up a couple things here. All right. So, the winner, which is One Battle After Another, is not a good film. It's kind of weird. Listen. It's sad, but if you make a film that has a theme of white supremacy and black activism and Sean Penn being a cartoon character, then you got a good chance of winning.
Sure.
You make one about F1, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
F1 was a far more entertaining film than One Battle After Another, but it's about cars, and they don't care about cars. And it was just a kind of a weird MSNBC producer fever dream.
Yeah.
And it by the way, it wasn't a good film, not just because I disagree with it politically. It was sort of all over the road. Like, lights up, we're going to break into this detention center at the border and free Mexicans. By the way, you freeing Mexicans, it's not like you're freeing a coyote that's trapped in a snare or a marlin that's got a net on it. You can't just take Mexicans and scatter them to the wind. Like, go, my brothers, go, be free, go, be. What do you think they're going to do? Just live in a field?
Yeah, no, these ain't beagles. You can't be saved by the next Baywatch star. They're not beagles.
They literally think of them like it's a dolphin caught in a tuna net.
Sure.
And it is true. And they love the symbolism of cutting the net off and sending the dolphin, or the bear after they fixed its paw and they open the cage and it goes stumbling out into the woods. You know what I mean? You can't do that with Mexicans. No, I've tried.
Yeah. You know what that Mexican does? Just like the bear, turns around and bites you in the ass.
Yes.
That's what it does.
I've gone down to the Home Depot, found those guys sitting around, waiting to jump in the back of the car. I throw them in the back of the pickup. I drive out to the Mojave Desert. I drop the tailgate and I yell, "Be free! Be free!"
Underlay!
And they just sit there. They don't want to leave. They want TV sets and food and air conditioning and shit. Same shit we want. That's what they want. Yeah. So the beginning of the movie is like, we're just going to go free some Mexicans, which is super racist, by the way. Then they do that. Then everyone is like, Sean Penn's character is out of a cartoon, basically. Like, I got a gun to me, I'm getting a boner, I want to have sex with a black chick. I will say this. They don't do this enough, but Leonardo DiCaprio's character, if that guy was an actual human being, he'd be the worst human being you've ever met in your life.
Absolutely, yes.
Fucking strung out on weed, makes bombs, neglects his family, doesn't fucking work, hates the government. Like, that's the worst human being on the planet. It didn't. The whole thing is run by some white supremacist cabal from someone's basement, while they'll wear Hawaiian shirts and drive Mustangs, It was a shitty movie. It's not even a good movie. Shot well.
Yeah.
Interesting to watch. Bad story. Not even close. And by the way, these movies that are Best Picture, like, the other in the past, when those types of movies come around, like Casino came on the other day. I just see Casino, I'm like, oh, I'm watching this. Like, Casino or a Tarantino movie, Inglourious Bastards, or one of these, The Sting or something like that. When these movies like Moonlight and stuff come around, which they don't because they're shitty movies, but even when they come on, you just change the channel.
Yeah,
I thought you're ever going to watch them.
I thought that same thing about this song that won best song from a movie, that the Golden whatever it was. They were talking about the K-pop. Everyone made fun of me when I listened to K-pop. It's the biggest genre on the planet right now. Stop it. And also when that gal was like, it's so good to see people who look like me on the screen. Oh, really? A Korean? So did you not see Parasite? Did you not see Everywhere, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once? Did you not see any of these movies? Because it seems like we're kind of in the mix now. And after I heard that whole Golden song, whatever it was, the best song from a movie, and they were talking about how this this is going to, live in infamy, and what a great song. It's first off, that sounds like every YouTube workout video I've ever seen.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what sticks in your head? I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. That song will never leave you. It should win Best Song.
Yeah, now, No Country for Old Men won 18 years ago, and that's a good movie.
Yeah.
But stuff like Coda and Nomad's Land and, Green Book
right, yeah.
and The Shape of Water and Moonlight and Spotlight.
Yeah.
Here's what I said. One Battle After Another was as good as Quentin Tarantino's worst movie.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, well, first off, to compare it, okay, so you go, well, what does that mean, douchebag Adam? Well, it means to compare it to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Django or Inglourious Bastards or Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction's insane. Those movies were all 1,000 times better than that movie. To do it to like Jackie Brown or like a lesser known, Tarantino movie, fine. But literally the movie that won the best film is as good, and I'm being generous, as Quentin Tarantino's weakest effort.
Yeah. That's
how I would say. And by the way, just watched it the other day again. You can watch Quentin Tarantino movies over and over again. Hateful Eight gets a lot of shit. It's still a good movie. It's good.
Yeah, it's low on my list, but it's still pretty decent. Yeah.
It's got a lot of twists and turns, and a letter from Abe Lincoln, and all that kind of crap. It's still a good movie, even though it's way down on Tarantino's. I mean, that's the whole thing. And then you take a movie like Boogie Nights, which is much better than One Battle After Another, which has to be weird if you created both of them.
Yeah.
And you create both of them, and the Boogie Nights doesn't get an Academy Award, and a shitty movie like One Battle After Another does, but that's only because of its stupid woke racist theme.
Yeah, I wonder if because they even said it, the gal who won Best Casting looked at Paul and was like, it's weird I got one before you do. I wonder if in the back of his mind he thought 18 months ago, you know what, maybe we put out something that's a little bit more relevant and a little bit more social commentary worthy so I can finally get myself one of them golden statues up on that mantle.
There's a bit of... I'll tell you what there is. It's the same as all the grift. You know what I mean? If you go, listen, I'm going to put an organization together so I can raise more money to buy a Ferrari, you won't get any money. But if you do for the children, so it's children, you give it a stupid name like Golden Endless Road for the Children's Foundation or something, then you can get money. If you do stuff... This movie's a piece of shit. It really is not. It's not a good movie, but... thematically, like I said, if you're going to write one about white guys driving race cars, you're out.
Yeah.
I don't care how fucking good it is. And if you do one about Sean Penn being a cartoon character, then it is. Boogie Nights lost the Academy Award to the best script to Good Will Hunting, which is another, I don't know, is that good? There Will Be Blood came out the same year as No Country for Old Men. Wow. All right. So that... Conan was fine. I don't think he's great in that, but he's fine.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
With that.
Yeah.
And what do you got in the news?
Yeah, let's do some news. So behind closed doors, Rebel Wilson's crisis public relations team discussed plans to create anonymous websites that accuse the producer of The Deb of sex trafficking as part of an alleged smear campaign solicited by the actress. In a recording obtained by The Hollywood Reporter, digital fixer Jed Wallace instructed top entertainment publicist Melissa Nathan to assert without evidence that the producer, Amanda Ghost, is a madam whose work involves procuring young women for wealthy and powerful men. Go ahead and give it a listen.
All right.
Oh, also, talked about Rebel. Like, here's the deal with Rebel, and I think you, me, and Brian, and maybe Katie, since she'll write this thing. What we have to do is the biggest piece here is that we have to connect Amanda Ghost with Vlotnik. And I was just like, so basically what we need to do is we need to create a path where we expose Amanda Ghost as like the new Heidi Fleiss. Like she masquerades as the reason why she sucks so bad at music is because she's actually getting hookers for Vlatnik, right? And that's what she does. She's an absolute madam, and that's why she's so lethal, blah, blah, blah. But he's right. Like, we can't just do like, oh, she's a bitch, she sucks. It's like, it's got to be really, really heavy and connected to something that heavy. So we'll talk.
These people are the worst. Well, fucking publicists are the worst people on the planet. Always have been. But I think about people who do shit like this. It's like the chick that. So I have a weird thing. Like when people go, oh, this guy poisoned his wife and collected on the insurance. I go, I don't care. That guy doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. They always exist. The people who, go hunting Cecil the lion, I don't want to hang out with them, but I don't care either. The most dangerous people, the scariest people on the planet for me are either the guy who pushes people onto the tracks on the subway for no reason, or the stripper who accuses the Duke lacrosse team of raping her, knows full well it never happened, and will happily watch 4 19-year-old dudes rot in prison for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
That is the scariest people. Those are the scariest people on the planet. Like the people like, oh, we'll just make up a story about this guy doing human trafficking. Those are the scariest. And also, I don't know where they come from. I would always just, if I was any part of that, I'd just go, no, you can't do that. It's gross.
Yeah.
Like, I'm an atheist, but come on, it's gross.
The amount of cavalier in their voice when they say it, they're just like, whatever, no big deal.
Well, also, so what we had is, what we do is we go for what's in vogue from a societal standpoint. Mm-hmm. So being racist was all you needed for a while. Yeah. And then lately, being a trafficker and a pedophile came into vogue. And now, so everyone you don't like, you just call them a pedophile and or a racist. Mm-hmm. By the way, you want to know how old we are? Doss, you want to feel old?
Yeah.
The chick, Crystal Magnum, the stripper, who accused the Duke lacrosse. By the way, how about you go to jail for at least half the time they were going to give the other guys that you were fucking bearing false witness to? Like nothing? No problemo. I'll just fucking try to get 4 guys' lives destroyed when they're in their teens, and then at some point I'll just go, well, I tried. Yeah. Okay. Here's how old we are. She started with the Duke lacrosse thing. That didn't work. Later on, she killed her boyfriend. And she got convicted of killing her boyfriend. And she got like 20 years for killing her boyfriend. She's out.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how fucking old we are. I went all the way through the Crystal Magnum.
Wow.
I piled right through Crystal Magnum. Yes. She falsely accused the Duke lacrosse players. And then she killed. By the way, can I say this, people? If you can sit there with a straight face and look at 4 innocent dudes and go, you can go rot in prison, you're capable of, you're fucking capable of anything. Yeah. Anything. But no time for that. But time for killing her boyfriend, which of course she's the world's worst person. And then by the way, I want to do a new TV show called Nice Job, where I just interview the parents. Mm-hmm. Hey, your daughter, became a stripper, right? Then tried to accuse 4 guys of gang rape, send them to prison for the rest of it, and then later killed her boyfriend. Nice job. Yeah. Good job with the parenting. You should write a book. So, then went to prison for the boyfriend, murder.
Who's now out.
Yeah. And now out.
Yeah.
And probably not in her 50s yet.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, although not scheduled to go to Duke, but is going to strip for the Vanderbilt basketball team if they can make it to the Sweet 16. So just putting it out there. By the way, Crystal, is that a real name, Crystal Magnum?
Can't be.
Can't be. There's no way, right? Wow. Huh.
No.
Surprised I haven't seen more of her.
No, but she should marry World Be Free or whoever the NBA
Meta World Peace?
Yeah, well, there was also World Be Free.
Oh, was there really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Andrew, who was World Be Free? Another NBAer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rebel Wilson also accused of lying about, Sacha Baron Cohen. Yeah, that's right. That's great. God, she seems like a piece of shit.
Man. Oh, look at that hair. Look at that.
He's 72. He was a Laker. It looked like he was oh, wait a minute. It's a Trailblazer. It looks like a, yeah.
Oh, Cav? Is that a Cavs jersey?
It was only 6'2".
That was it, huh? 6'2". World Be Free.
Lloyd Bernard.
Bernard Free.
Uh-huh. He was an all-star. He was a big NBAer. He was...
yeah. Dude.
He was in the league for, I don't know. How long was he in the league for?
Yeah, now he kind of looks like Curly from the Globetrotters.
He's got the handles.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the league for 13 years,
yeah.
14 years, and it came back. I mean, the guy's an all-star, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, World Be Free.
Yeah. The Miami Tropics? Wasn't that the name from the
it's Will Ferrell's team.
Ferrell's team? That's what I thought it was.
He was eaten by the bear on Grizzly Night. All right, what other stories you got?
All right, former MS Now host Joy Reid argued that the U.S. was only marginally better than the Iranian regime that American forces are currently at war against. We got a video of this.
I love it. But let me just say this. All these bitches, all these dudes, it's always the same thing. They always go, I love this country. I just imagine a better country than bullshit. Mm-hmm. You fucking hate this country, you crazy, angry bitch.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Our regime has secret police. They have secret police. Our regime is oppressing women, taking away abortion rights, taking away women's rights in like 26 states, some states where they're trying to have the death penalty for having an abortion. They also oppress women. They have the highest rate of women who are in STEM careers. We're kicking women out of the military, out of university. We're saying that DEI means women can't be hired for high positions in the sciences. We're marginally better. And we're doing it for Christianity. They're doing it for Islam, right? Yeah. So it's like we don't get told those things because it would take away the kind of American exceptionalism narrative.
I love the guys who interview these nut jobs. Yeah, hold on. Let me adjust my brooch. Let me get a little deeper leg cross and do a little brooch adjustment. All right, here we go. What were we saying? Like they never go, who's being thrown out of college because they're a woman?
Yeah.
Is that something? I haven't heard of that.
She tried to highbrow us, though, in that. She didn't say college. She said getting kicked out of university.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
She was basically saying, I'm not American.
Right, yeah. What grade?
How is she making money? She was fired a while back, right?
I don't. I have no idea. I don't know. I also, once you out yourself as a dingbat or just a woman, or just like, let's say you hate this country or you hate Jews or you hate whatever, don't you just kind of out yourself and then we can not listen to you anymore because you've outed yourself? Like she's clearly a dingbat who hates this country.
I see more of Joy Reid now that she's not on CNN than when she was.
Sure. Like when Whoopi talks and sounds like she's a retard on methadone, does anyone ever just go like, I guess we don't? What is this infinite capacity to listen to dingbats?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like when Whoopi gave her speech about men and women's sports, and she's like, "Have anybody seen these women? They don't mess around." Okay.
What?
I don't know what you're. Look, World Be Free. Watch a highlight reel of the NBA, and then watch a highlight reel of the WNBA. That is the difference between men and women. The women will be lots of draining threes from the chest and some bounce passes.
Granny shots.
And the guys are going to be hitting their head on the rim. And basketball, it's a sport and it's a discipline, but it's really just the most athletic.
Sure.
Like you're running, you're jumping, you're using all of the tools in your sort of physical toolbox, you know? You can argue that playing interior lineman, it's just about sort of power and grunt and force or whatever, and the different positions in football, and baseball's a little more finesse, and this guy's a pitcher, and that guy specializes in hitting or whatever it is. Basketball is just a purely athletic endeavor. And when you see the highlight reel, you go, that's the difference between men and women. And I don't know what Whoopi's talking about when she's talking about women being serious about their sports. But does she know what she's talking about?
Well, also the WNBA, a league that is subsidized by the NBA, finally gets a player that is transcending and really making a name for women's basketball. And all they did was beat the shit out of her for an entire season.
Yes.
And then somebody finally was like, hey, would you stop? That's what I love about hockey, because Marty McSorley was told, by basically like behind closed doors, was like, hey, when we got guys out on the ice like a Wayne Gretzky, or we got a guy out there that is really bringing a lot of eyeballs and putting a lot of people in seats, do not hurt that guy. Whatever you do, because when he's not out on the court, that means, or on the ice, that means people are not coming to see him. So you have to make sure that that guy is protected at all times. And I can't believe nobody in the WNBA didn't put out a memo to these women and went, hey, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, attendance goes up when she comes to town. When Caitlin Clark is in your building, there's people here. So stop it. Knock it off.
I know. They turned it into a whole racial thing, and it's awesome. Yeah, that's why we need more women of color in positions of power.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else you got?
President Trump was stunned to learn this week that U.S. intelligence indicates that the new Iranian supreme leader may be gay, and that his father, the late Ayatollah, feared his suitability to rule the Islamic Republic for that reason. I don't know if you saw this story at all.
Well, look, it feels like half the kids of super famous and powerful guys are gay, right? Like, I feel like your chance of being gay or transsexual goes up tenfold if your dad's a billionaire and rules either Hollywood or a republic.
Yeah.
All right.
As it's been said many times.
Yeah. All right. Is there something to watch?
No, I thought, no, I guess we're good. No, never mind. All right.
All right, so it was Trump's response.
It's Trump's response, essentially. Yeah, they were saying that other people in the room found it to be hilarious, and that there was a lot of people that joined in with the president's reaction, while one senior intelligence official has not stopped laughing about it for days. And one person familiar with the briefing was saying that he was shocked that President was shocked when described by the Post by two intelligence community officials, and a third person who was close to the White House brought this to the president. He had a field day with it.
Well, you gotta have gays in that society. They just can't come out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
that's
the beauty of Joy Reid.
Yeah.
Which is you get stoned to death if you're gay.
Yeah, that was the thing. She was I watched the Academy Awards with a gay man, and guess what? Nobody threw him off of a building. What do you know? Feels like we're a little bit better than Iran.
You know what? All these countries, all the leaders go to the same optometrist. They never wear plastic frames. They only wear metal frames. And all the times that I see any of these supreme leader of anywhere, that's Iran, Iraq, whatever, all the Middle Eastern countries, you'll never see the Swifty Lazar frames. You'll never see you don't see the Wayfair look. You don't see a tinted lens. It's all a metal. They're all wear like high school chemistry teacher frames. And there's a metal frame thing, which I think for them is sort of the opposite of the leg cross, which is that's for pussies. I don't know what it is, but they all have the same frame. I've been noticing there's no variety. And by the way, they do not do it up. Like, they'll never smoke the lens or put a little tint or color in it. They'll never be plastic. They'll never be the big kind like I got on. There'll never be anything cool, different, or interesting. It's all, this is what a boring straight guy would wear.
Well, they got the side, like the meta ones, where they've got the button on the side, but instead of recording what you see, it blows up somebody's shoes. That's how that works.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Israel's going to donate the ones to you for your work. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah.
You cannot find a picture of these guys with plastic frames. And what is going on? Well, there's Fidel Castro from 1963. But I'm talking about in the last 40 years, it's all the same metal frame. Metal frames bend. They're kind of weird. I don't know. Is it just because whoever wore, well, one guy looks like he might have some plastic. Yeah, but this is old.
Yeah, you know what they need to do? Get to a Lens Crafters and get them in front of that screen where it does a bunch of different styles in front of you so you can see which one. You're like, well, you got an oblong face, so cat eye would look very good on you.
Yeah. All right, one more.
All right, one more. Here we go. So, Amin Mohammed Ghazali, I think I'm saying that right, tried to kill Jewish kids after ramming his trunk into a synagogue in Michigan. But
truck.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Ramming his truck into a synagogue, but ended up burning inside of his own truck before shooting himself. The media went full force to explain why this happened, but look at what we saw from the NPR Middle East conflict. In small Lebanese town, grief and fear followed the Michigan synagogue attack.
Yeah.
That's their angle on this thing. And also look who wrote it. I can't even say that gal's name.
Hadel Shitstain. Listen, here's what I've been telling you guys all. First off, here's how you know these people are bought and sold and corrupt journalists. If you talk to Mark Garagos, and Mark Garagos is up there talking about one of his clients, and some Armenian kid took his BMW and plowed through a farmer's market, right? He doesn't say, after Avi took his BMW and ran over a bunch of elderly folk who are out shopping, he goes, the day of the incident. Well, he calls it an incident. You know what I mean? And they put in lots of things where mistakenly, and he was distracted for a moment before the incident and stuff. And you go, what's he doing? Well, he's soft pedaling what this thing is because that's his client. I mean, his objective is do not find this person guilty. And so then we'll start calling things and saying this. And, as I always said, like my agent, my former manager, me and Jimmy's former manager, Howard, God rest his soul, when we left the Man Show, he came up to us and he's like, we're leaving him. And he's like, but you do know that I'm still going to service the contract, meaning I'm still going to take money for doing nothing and eating for free. But he doesn't want to say it that way. He says service the contract, meaning I'm still going to get paid for doing nothing on a show I didn't invent. Okay. So people do it. All right, that's all fine. But when you see news outlets doing that, then that's what an advocate for the murderer would do. So the guy who was the bomber or the guy who did throw the improvised explosive device into the crowd or the guy who drove the thing through the Christmas parade, and then NPR or the LA Times or the New York Times or CNN, when they report on it, their headlines are more of an advocate. They're more like, I'm a lawyer for this person than they are a fucking journalist, because they are. Yeah. Because that's who they are. And men can stop it a little bit. Women can't turn it off.
Oh, yeah.
They can't turn it off. So these are women. These are progressive women. Somehow they work for NPR or they work for any of those outlets, and they have an agenda, and when they will execute that in the form of these headlines, and you see it over and over again, and then they try to tell you how fair and balanced they are. Pardon me, dubious.
Yeah.
All right, this Sunday, Santa Ana, California, going to be there. I think Jay Moore's going to come out. Jordan Family Classic Cars, got the Newman collection out there. Norfolk, Nebraska. Rudy says great club.
Love it.
That'll be March 27th, 28th. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Where's that at? I can't read it. The whatever center?
Oh, it's at the District Event Center. Yep. And
Center.
I was texting Andrew, who runs that place today, that there must be a clock somewhere with an eye shot for Adam Carolla.
Thank you. And then Lincoln, Nebraska at Haller Comedy Club. That'll be this Sunday on the 29th. Rudy will be down. You go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live stuff. Rudy?
Yeah, this Friday I'll be in Oakdale, Minnesota for Next Stop Comedy. The 21st, Saturday night, I'll be in Monroe, Wisconsin. And then on the 27th, St. Paul at Gambit Brewing on the 29th in Lincoln, Nebraska with you, Ace.
So, till next time, Adam Crow for Rudy Pavich and Dan Abrams saying, mahalo.